Hi guys, it's Jim again, PA Woodsman. Wanted to do a brief video here on my comms equipment, my ham radio that you guys have been seeing me out and about with occasionally. I bought this for several reasons, one being backpacking, of course, something I could take with me. It's portable and have emergency communications while I'm out in the bush. Second is my tactical reasons, and third is in case all communications fail, I have a backup. So, what you see here is what you've been seeing me carry in the past. It's the Yaesu FT60R. Dual band ham radio. It does dual band, which is 2 meter and 70 centimeter. 2 meter is nothing more than 145 megahertz band, and 70 centimeters is the 400 megahertz band in easy English. This radio transmits on those two frequencies, but also receives several other frequencies. That is the 220 megahertz band, or what they call the 1.5 centimeter, as well as 800, 700, 900, and the weather stations. Has a weather alert feature, which is nice, and if I'm not needing to take my AM/FM with me as well, I can just have this with me, and if I'm just walking around on a trail, I got access to the local weather reports. Reason I went with this radio over a few different other ones was the fact that very easy to program from the keypad. You can get software that you can do it from the computer, which is a whole lot easier. I purchased a USB to radio cloning cable in order to program it, and found out it was a bad cable, a knockoff, and the software will not function with those type of cables, being that it's not original equipment. So I did everything through the keypad. It's just a little more time consuming, but it's not bad. And it's nice in case you get somewhere and somebody gives you a repeater channel that you don't have in your radio, you can put in real quick, or just a frequency they want to work off of, and it's a lot quicker than rotating through the band. Excuse me. I apologize. I've been battling bronchitis and a head cold. Excuse me. Alright, back to the radio. It's very quick on scanning. This radio only, you can, with the scan, I can't say that. I was going to say you can't pick up dual bands at once. As long as you have it in the bank, I see that you can do it, but you can't cross band or anything like some of the other radios. Dislikes of this radio would be the mic connection. I have purchased a mic since the last video. I've been talking about getting one something a little more heavy duty and robust compared to the simple Yaesu radio mic that you can get for it. This is a Prime 2102 Trooper mic. Comes with the Vertex single pin mic connection, which is also Vertex and Yaesu were one and the same at one time. This one actually, you can disconnect this from the bottom of the mic, replace the cord, or vice versa if you need to. It's water resistant, which is good for my needs being out in the field. Nice solid heavy duty belt clip that rotates. Now what I dislike is not the microphone itself or the connector, it's the radio on the receiving end here and the connection. In the past with radios I've used over the years, being professional as a paramedic, there's always been, or a firefighter, there's been a way that you could secure the connector once inside, be it a clip with a screw, or you screw the thing on. This one just goes in by friction, and it's very sensitive. It can be dislodged easily, and then you're not hearing anything out of the mic, or it can come out partially and cause the radio to go into transmitting just a tone, and it just screws everything up. What I'm finding out so far to alleviate that problem is I lift up the mic here, excuse me, and I bring the cord up underneath the mic clip. Haven't tried this yet on the belt to see if that's going to be cumbersome, but in my radio pouch it's fine. The Yaesu mic and a few other ones have a ability that a thing clips up here in the antenna, which I think is in the way. I do like the Kenwood and the Motorola versions, where, as I said, where they got a clip to keep that in place. That's the only drawback I'm seeing of the mic right now. Antennas. This is the stock antenna that came with the radio. It is a 8-inch dual band rubber ducky antenna. It'll pick up both the 70 centimeter as well as the 2 meter. If you're close to a repeater or close to person-to-person in the simplex mode, which is nothing more than you're not using a repeater, this antenna works fairly decent. I have not talked to anyone in simplex yet, but I should get probably about a mile or two, like you would with your general family radios. The stuff you hear about them being good for 20 miles or 30 miles is a bunch of BS. Might hit 5 miles if you're out west where you got no foliage or canopy or trees that sort of block your view. But for around here, forget it. Since then, I purchased a couple different antennas. What I'm getting ready to put on here right now to show you. This one was about 8 inches long. This is a diamond. Hopefully I can get that in camera here. Pardon the glare. SHTF antenna. It's also a dual band antenna, which also receives the weather band, which this one can as well. 150, 300 megahertz, 450 megahertz, 800, 900 megahertz, 220, etc. This antenna itself is 17 inches long. 2 meter light's a longer antenna than 40 centimeter. Some people think this works better on 400 megahertz. I've not talked to anyone 400 megahertz, but it's not a very popular band around here, other than on the emergency services side. And the last thing I want to do is get onto a band I'm not supposed to be on. I did put it on once inside my vehicle. I spoke to a guy. I did notice a little bit of a difference. That was on a base station. But one, I'm inside of a vehicle, which is nothing more than a metal box, and it distorts transmissions as it is. Second off, try to talk with this antenna in a vehicle and it bounces, it hits the ceiling and windshield. It'd work fine if I was maybe left it in the holder and used my mic. But eventually I want to get a mobile, because I'm going to get to that here in a moment. The power on this is only 5 watts max. You can take it down to, I think it's 1.5 or 2 for real close transmissions. But all in all, it's a pretty decent antenna. I picked up a lot more than I have with the standard one, receive end, especially in town here. I'm able to get the weather channels a lot easier. But and it just connects with a SMA male, and this is the SMA female. And last antenna, a little key while I have this off: never tee a microphone or a radio without an antenna connected to it. You can overload it, and more or less the radio will be a brick. You can throw it at somebody, get their attention so they're talking to them. And this here is just screws on. This is just a coax with a SMA male connector. It's 17 feet of coax connected to my Slim Jim J-pole antenna, which you saw deployed out there in the field the other day, in which the antenna itself is 4 feet roughly in length, and it's both dual band as well. It can pick up and transmit the 2 meter as well as the 7 centimeter. What I'm finding out: the good, the bad. The good example was yesterday. I was over at Fitz my Doc's place, spent the night in my hammock. I had this strung up in my tree in the woods with me. I was picking up every repeater around just about. Signal was coming in perfectly clear. I was able to hit the repeaters with my tone, but when it came to communicating verbally with the people on the other end, it was intelligible, they told me. Very staticky. I had one gentleman, I think after the third attempt, and I apologized for it to him, he was able to finally pick up my call sign, but could not hear my conversation. He heard something about handheld, and that was the extent. I was shooting for an antenna. Repeater was 20 miles away, which was bouncing off to a couple different repeaters, which is on the WAN system, and he was up in the Poconos, which is probably 300 miles or so away the crow flies from where I'm at. And I was under a lot of canopy. I was in a hollow, so I was not getting my signal out as well as I would if I was on top of a tall hillside with the antenna up, or even just simply with my rubber duck if I was way up in a clearing where I was able to get a line of sight at least towards the direction of where the repeater antenna system was located. You saw that in my last video of me with my hammock chair set out, and I was trying this out for the first time. I was hitting the repeater towers very, very strong. The one guy was able to communicate with me from northwestern Pennsylvania, but he said I came through statically and that's just the fact that I was still under a lot of canopy. I didn't have a direct line of sight with the antenna, and the fact I'm only pushing 5 watts has a lot to do with it too. But I think a lot of it has to do with the canopy right now. Maybe in the fall, winter, I'll have a little bit better luck with this, but still I can't move the hills the way they are set up. But if there's a hill or a mountain in my way from me to the antenna and trying to bounce over it, sometimes is difficult. This isn't like using your HF bands, which is I'm not real familiar with yet. A lot of times what happens is you bounce your signal off the atmosphere and the ionosphere and all that technical stuff, and it's able to send your communications farther away. Sometimes the voice is distorted, but you can still communicate thousands and thousands of miles. That's the way you can communicate overseas a lot of times. So, but this is my comm system for now. For what I got it for, it's working fine. What I expected out of it, it didn't turn out, but I'm not disappointed. I just know its limitations now, and I will get eventually a mobile for in my vehicle, so I don't have that can effect, and set up a base station somehow, either for in here or in the field or where I'm camping or at, where I can get out. Now, if I'm close to repeaters and don't have a lot of canopy in my way, this will probably do fine for certain situations. But this was more or less gotten for short distances that I can communicate with the rest of people in my group, be on the tactical side, or if I'm out somewhere and I need to get emergency communications beyond using my beacon, this will just supplement it. I have the ability to do so. But there's a lot of different radios out there. This is not the best. I'm not saying that. The reason I went this way was a little more robust, and I'm the firm believer you get what you pay for, folks. The ACU cost me, I believe, it was $159 shipped. Well, not shipped. Before shipping, they'd go upwards to 179 bucks. You can get them some places. But this thing's a little bit more robust than some of the other radios I've seen, and I like the water repellency of it and the ease of programming, because I did review a bunch of different radios. I saw other ones I did like, but they were just beyond my price that I could afford. There's one brand out there made, it's a Bofong 5R, I believe it's what's called, as well as there's ones called Watson or Washun or something like that. You can get them for like half the price. The ball phone you can get for like $40 complete with the charger, microphone, programming table, everything for 40 to 50 bucks. The walk zone, you can get them from anywhere from 79 bucks to the same price, but I wanted a brand that's been around for a long time. Yaesu's been in the ham radio business for a long time. They were part of Vertex Radio, so that's the reason I went with this route and the easy programming field. I have talked to two folks now via repeater that were using the Bowphone radio, and they came in nice and powerful, crystal clear. They got a bunch of more features than this radio has, but they're just a Chinese knockoff of a Kenwood and a Yaesu and a little bit of combination of every radio put together. One thing that Bowphone has over this one is, like I said, they have a better connector system. They have the Kenwood, which is the 2-pin. No, you can't secure it, but it's more secure than this single pin. But like I said, when I'm clipping it, I put it behind the clip and then I just slip it in my pouch I have on my tactical vest, or clip it on my belt, and I'll see how that works. That may not do so good because you figure I'll have this opened up a little bit more and it may defeat the purpose, but we'll figure that out when we try to use it. But when I'm walking, I probably won't have the mic. Sorry about that, the video cut short there. But what I was trying to say is I probably won't have the microphone on with me when I'm just walking, general public type things, so I'm not looking like a geek. So, just when I'm doing my tactical thing, it's one thing, or if I'm backpacking and clip it to my backpack, it makes it just more convenient. So, alright guys, thank you for stopping by my channel again and watching my video on my communication gear. I always appreciate your commenting. If you have any questions, suggestions, recommendations, I'm always open ears for that. Just so you know, I did close my other channel. I'm going to keep my stuff to my stuff and my opinions to my opinions and just leave it to it. There wasn't a lot of interaction on the channel, and I tell you the truth, it's just hard to manage two channels, and I'll just keep my certain opinions to myself and just leave it at that. So, guys, thank you for watching. As always, thank you for commenting, subscribing, and as always, folks, God bless.